So, since 2016, there hasn't been a California exit exam. And because of that, since 2016, there hasn't been a California exit exam. And there's many alternatives instead of having California exit exams, something like that. In the report in a report after the law on January 2006 January 2016 that my opponent stated, there's been a report by the California Department of Education, and it stated some recommendations for the high school, recommendations on a high school exam and other pathways to graduation. They stated that many states are repealing or suspending the use of the comprehensive high school exit exams and are replacing those requirements with end-of-course exams or multiple measures and alternative pathways to high school graduation. My opponent was talking about how more students, because of the previous exit exam, was taking more high-level math classes such as like algebra, algebra 2, geometry, stuff like that. Instead of having an exit exam test for that, we can use, instead of having a previous exit exam that didn't even align to the current standards that we have right now, we can have an exit exam that tests them on their end of course, on courses like that, on algebra 2, on geometry, stuff like that. The report continues and talks about that other states permit students to develop portfolios, in which one state utilizes that as a final option within its alternative assessment program. Talking about the end of course exams again, as an alternative to the exit exam. 9 states require students in the class of 2012 to pass the end of course exams to graduate, and an increase in from having 2 states in 2002. So it might be a little bit beneficial to have an end of course exam instead of a comprehensive exam, which standards are from from the early 2000s. Also, in a study by continuing in the study, it says that using end of course exams affords more flexibility to test wide variety of course content taught in the high school level. This pattern could also be explained by interest in some states to use test scores as a component of teacher evaluation. So it allows schools and school districts to associate students' performance with the students' performance on exit exam and helps evaluate teachers. Also on that front, instead of using making a new comprehensive exam, we can that aligns to state standards, we can just use the state test that we already have, which would be the SBAC, or the Smarter Balance test, which actually aligns with the Common Core standards that we have today in the state. Continuing in the report, in 2010, the State Board of Education adopted the CCSS, or the Common Core State Standards for English, Language Arts, and Mathematics. These standards are more rigorous than the state's previous content standards because we reflect on the college and career readiness standards. So instead of implementing a new exit exam, we can just use this SBAC as an alternative to that, and they'll actually be more, even more prepared for college and career readiness. Another alternative to that as well would be using AP scores or the SAT scores as a component for that. In 7 states, they require all students to take the ACT before they graduate from high school. One state requires all the students to take the SAT prior to graduation. And using those results from it, we could even set it not as a graduation requirement that they pass it, but just as a graduation requirement that they take those tests. Now there are also more disadvantages to the exit exam that I can go through. it actually increases graduation time. So like my opponent stated, that they can take the test as many times as they want to. For students that fail it, this actually pushes them back. It says using national data, they found that students in states with a high school exit exam have a greater number of students that require an extra year in order to earn a high school diploma, which may be a product of numerous retakes of the exit exam. The exit exams also increase graduation rates. Data coming from the census and the current population surveys by Baker in 2013 say that in addition, we find robust adverse effects on the standard-based exams on the institutionalized rate. Exams increase incarceration by 0.2 percentage points, or about 12.5%. Another disadvantage is that the exam actually costs too much. The advisory panel provided some suggestions on some cost-effective measures with the elimination of the Chsee. They stated that they can use that new funding to increase the individual interventions with at-risk students and have professional development for teachers in implementing the new state standards. And another one is that the exams actually decrease the graduation rate. Using data from the 2000 census, they found that the high school exit exam actually decreases the probability of graduating from high school by 1.6 percentage points as well. So there are many alternatives to the instead of instituting a new exit exam, and there are some current disadvantages in using the older exit exam and bringing that back.